The sea was merciless that morning. Waves crashed violently against the rocky Greek coastline, foaming white under a gray, wind-torn sky. On the deck of the SS Oria, over 4,000 Italian prisoners of war stood crammed shoulder to shoulder, cold, hungry, and silent. Most were barefoot, wearing rags or tattered remnants of uniform. The stench of sweat, seawater, and fear hung thick in the air. The ship wasn't meant to carry passengers, let alone thousands. It was a rusting Norwegian cargo steamer, hastily repurposed by German forces. Below deck, there was barely room to breathe. Men slumped together in darkness, their skin pressed tight against metal hull walls that groaned with every swell. They had no lifebelts, no lifeboats for their numbers, no way off. They were men who'd once fought for Mussolini, captured after Italy's surrender in 1943, now regarded as traitors by their former Axis allies. Some had resisted the Germans, others had simply refused to keep fighting. Their punishment, transport under armed guard to forced labor camps. But the journey itself would become the sentence. Just after midnight on February 12, 1944, the Oria departed roads bound for the Greek mainland. The sea was already angry when they left. By dawn, it had become deadly. Winds howled over the Aegean, tearing across the deck. Rain came sideways, and the overloaded vessel, its rusted engine straining, veered off course. At 4:30 a.m., in the black before sunrise, the Oria struck a reef near Cape Sunken. The hull split open instantly. Water surged in. The ship listed hard, sending hundreds tumbling into the sea or pinned beneath fallen cargo. Within minutes, the lower decks were flooded. Panic exploded. Men clawed their way up ladders, screaming, fighting to escape. Many never made it. Those who reached the surface found chaos. The sea had turned to a grave. The air was thick with shouts in Italian and German. Bodies thrashed in the foam, some clinging to debris, others disappearing beneath the waves. There were no rescue ships nearby, no flares, no hope. On the cliffs above, a few Greek villagers watched the ship vanish into the storm, helpless. When the waters calmed, they found only wreckage. Hundreds of bloated corpses washed ashore over the next few days, some still locked in an embrace, some with identification tags clenched in frozen hands. Others were never found at all. The exact death toll remains disputed, but it's believed that over 4,000 men died in the sinking of the Oria, making it one of the deadliest maritime disasters of all time. Fewer than 50 survived, yet few outside Greece or Italy have ever heard of it. The tragedy was barely reported at the time. Germany had no reason to publicize the deaths of men it had labeled traitors. The Allies didn't know or didn't speak of it. For decades, the Oria remained a whispered story, one told by survivors' families, by fishermen who still pull relics from the sea, and by those who remember the dead not as numbers, but as men. There is no grand memorial, no yearly ceremony with dignitaries or wreaths, just a rusted plaque near the shoreline and the silent waves that roll over the reef, still hiding what's left of the ship and the men who drowned with her. Some say the sea forgets, but it never really does. Thank you for listening to the Sunken Ledger. Subscribe for more true stories from the depths.